Hey everyone, it's Paul Hamilton here from UTB. This is what we're going to create today, a beautiful little animation that's going to be layered on the top of a background, and we're going to pull apart some animation techniques, like how do we combine animation frames to create an animation and then layer it beautifully on another image in Canva. So we're going to pull apart how to do this, how to find these. It's super easy to do, and it's fantastic to understand how animation works with still frames and how we can incorporate that into our Canva compositions. Why don't we get started? I'm going to go back to my homepage. Now, a couple of things. We need to start with a presentation, actually, not any other template, but a presentation, because what we're actually going to do down here is we're going to customize how long each frame goes for. Now, all we're going to do here is go to our elements and we're going to search for animation sequence. And I'll put in fly because I'm after a bird, and you can see here lots come up. Now, if you want other animation sequences, for example, frogs jumping or kicking or doing a range of different things, then that will work as well. But I'm looking for this one. Now, you can see I've only got 2 animation frames here. So what I'm going to do is go up to my 3 dots. I'm going to go to see more like this. And then as I go down, you'll actually see those full sequences here. You'll also find a lot of other birds as well. And if I click on one of them, what you might find is the actual sequences or the magic recommendations as well. Sometimes that kind of kicks in and you can see the scope of what you're trying to look at by looking at those different elements. And so what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to count these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so what we're going to do is put each of those 7 images on a separate slide. So let's start with the top one. We'll count these through. I'm not going to change any of the sizes. I'm just going to create a different page for each. So that's number 2. That's number 3, number 4, and number 5, number 6, and number 7. Now you can quickly scroll through to make sure that that sequence looks like it's right in regard to the wings and that different area, but it looks pretty good to me, right? So that's all we really need to do is keeping that consistent size, looking at those different wings, and actually looking at how that might sequence over and over again. Now we've done the hard bit. So what we're actually going to do now is look at the timer. So if you go down to your duration, if you click on duration, you can see that each of these slides goes for about 5 seconds. That's way too long. We're actually going to bring that right down to 0.3. And the reason for that is animation requires each of these frames to play really, really quickly, sequentially over and over again. So you don't really know that it is individual images, but it's more the animation itself that we need to focus on. So I'm going to go with about 0.3, but you could go even a little bit more. The more sequences that you have, the more images that you have, make them go a little bit quicker. So you might go down to 0.2 or 0.1, depending on what you want to do. I'm almost there. I'm going to go down to 0.3 there. And then we've done that beautifully. So if I kind of click on that first one and I press play, you can kind of see that sequence of what the bird's going to do, which is great. Then all we have to do now is go up to share, download. We're going to select a GIF or a GIF. We'll make sure it's all 7 slides, and we're absolutely going to make sure that we've got a transparent background so that we can layer this a little bit later. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to download that. That's going to go to my downloads. And in a minute, what we're going to do here, why don't we create a new page? This is going to be our composition page. I'm going to, once that's downloaded, I'm actually going to drag that directly into my scene. So I think it has downloaded, by the way. I'm going to drag that in and just have a look at it as a GIF file. You can see here it's loading. In fact, this wasn't the GIF file that I wanted. I was a little bit premature there in regard to my element. So it's going to be this 4th one here. So I might go over to my videos. You can see that one's still loading. So I'm actually going to be a little bit patient. I am going to go to upload files and go to my the 4th one, which is the last one that I just did there. And I'll probably use that one, I think, just because we've got some consistency there. Now, these are GIF files, so they're just going to run automatically in my scene, which is great. You can see I've got two there. I think this one's a little bit slower, so I'm going to go with that one in a minute. Now, while I'm doing that, let's go to our elements and actually bring in a background to see how that looks. So I'm going to go to away from there. I'm going to go to my AI, generate your own image. I'm going to look for a beautiful sunset landscape. I'm going to select my style, which is going to be concept art for those that know me. I'm going to select landscape because I want it to fill up this canvas size beautifully. And then what we're going to do is layer that GIF, once it's uploaded to Canva, over the top. So that's obviously working hard to create those AI image generations. Oh, we've got some beautiful ones coming up. Some wonderful different files. I might just wait for all of them. I kind of like the composition of this one, so I'm going to go with this one. Here, we're going to make that nice and big. You could play around with the colors, by the way, too. You could actually definitely play around with the colors, both of your flying bird and also your landscape, to make it gel a little bit more. And then if we go to our uploads and I select our latest GIF, have a look at that. I've got this beautiful animation that I can place in my landscape, getting it the right size. And all of a sudden we've got this beautiful composition where I've got my custom animation sequence that's created this file. Great for the students to understand how animations work. Now, I could take this a little bit further. I could, because it's a GIF and it runs that animation automatically, I could go up to animate, create an animation path, and then just kind of drag that directly across the sun as it's setting to give me that sequence of I'm flapping, but I'm also moving. Look at that. Beautiful little sequence there. You can speed that up or you can slow it down. But all of a sudden now, if I present that, we've got this beautiful sequence of my bird flying in the background on a beautiful background. Hope you found that useful today. That's all about creating these custom animations, looking for animation sequences back in my elements tag. So once again, typing in animation sequence, typing in your keywords, and they'll be in the graphics section if you would like to find them. Can't wait to see what you produce. Hope you found that useful. Paul Hamilton here from UTB.